welcome back in, guys. It has been a hot minute. Welcome to the Hillbilly Repair Shop, and once again for probably the 10th time here on the Rancho since 2011, it's small engine repair time. If you saw part one of the problems, I love this Powermate Generator 2000. One of the problems is sometimes you get lazy, you forget to remove the fuel from it or run it through, and what happens is the little jets that are inside, the little nozzles that spray and atomize the fuel, well, they get varnished and they get plugged up, and as a result, you can't do anything to free it. You can't do anything to free it because in the old days, you used to be able to take carburetors apart, change out, clean jets, get little pipe cleaners and run it through. Not anymore. So what we ended up doing was we've got to put the new carburetor into place here and get this bad boy running. I pulled it apart here to the point where I should be able to free up things. I'm going to free up the carburetor now. I'll show you what we're going to do inside of here, all right? This is going to be a fun repair, and well, I'm just going to remind myself, I don't know how, maybe put it in my phone as a calendar reminder to just put the word generator in there, bing, and that will remind me. Hey, Roosevelt ain't perfect, you know. Let's get to it on this repair. If you take a look at the carburetor here, we have two, you can see the butterfly right there. You can see the butterfly valve right there. And one of the problems we have, not a problem, but we need to remove these two capture nuts right here. And then I'm going to have to dump out all of this fuel because then we have to release, I don't know if you can see it back here, there's a fuel line behind there. Yeah, you can see it right now. I'm pointing to it. It has to be removed, and then we can get the carburetor off. Who says small engine repair isn't fun? One good pro tip is to take plenty of pictures so that you know where everything goes. You see, we have to do a there's a threaded wire that comes through there. It's going to work the throttle or the choke mechanism. We want to make sure that, and there's also electronic control on top of there. We do have a new one here, which we'll be putting on, but we want to make very sure that we know where the connectors and all that go. So let's go ahead and tackle these bolts. You can probably see the date code on that carb, 2019. What is that, 12, yeah, the 12, December 2nd. I guess that's what it is. So, hadn't been on there that long. Probably only ran like a total of an hour anyway. But that's how dumb I am. The bolts are now, you can see that the whole mechanism can easily moved. Can easily be moved. So we need to get in there behind. There's the clip that holds on this fuel hose right there. We need to remove that. You can see she's pretty much freewheeling right now. We're gonna loosen this set screw for the choke, and then we'll take this off as a whole unit. I had to take the other side off here. Yay. So that I would have access over here to this connector. We got to find the right connector. There's a few that comes over. We'll figure it out and find out which one it is. Next, we're going to take off those. You see those screws that are holding the black housing down. We're going to remove them because the existing one, the electronics, we don't have to fool with the other side. We can just mount this one right down on the in the new housing, and that's going to save a lot of time and effort as opposed to rebuilding the whole thing. Just a word of caution: when you change out the header on this carburetor, the electronics here, this down here, make very sure that you keep that spring assembly in place, and take a picture of it too, so that you see how the spring mounts on there in case it comes off. As I don't know if you can see over here, when you have these units, there's a tab, there's like a keyway there, and that keyway has to fit down right inside of there. So you want to try to keep that assembly together as much as you can. So handle things very delicately when you remove the top here, okay? Keep everything in place. The replacement kit will have new gaskets, and I made sure to put this fuel line on before I try to put this puppy back in place, because that is such a BI to get in place. But we're going to take off the old gasket. Really, on this one, it doesn't really even need it, but you know, it's just best practice. This thing's hardly run at all, and rare to see something that's made in the USA there. Okay, let's get her back on. Before I hook hoses up, especially existing hoses, I like to cut off, give a little bit of a fresh end on that to give better grip, and that way I'm pretty sure I prevent leaks when I go to reinstall this. And that is going to be very, very important, because this is a lot to take apart here, and if you get some kind of goofy little leak, you're going to be kind of mad at yourself. I'm really glad that I'm snipping this hose some. Look at the deterioration that happened on that. Clearly can see that there's going to be a leak there if you just hook it up. So we're going to trim that, and I'm going to use a proper hose clamp on it. I have to be honest, I'm not a big fan of spring clips. I like the security of having a clamp that you can tighten down. You see one I got right behind here, and I got another one over there, and it just gives me a lot more surety. I like it a lot better. I feel better. Make sure you get your choke cable properly mounted there. Okay, you want to make sure that the action is really smooth on that. Very essential when you go to choke. You want it to be good. Choke on, choke off. Wax on, wax off. That's it. You want to make sure you got everything good and secured, all your gaskets used. It's your breather element here. So I think we can fill it with gas and give it a try before we close it all up. Alright guys, it's time to put her to the test. Where we button her up, we got to check for leaks and everything. Hell, we got to make sure it works first. Let's go. Let's put the choke on. Guys, another mission accomplished here. We're gonna work tomorrow to put that back together. Don't be like me. 95% of the world is smarter than me. 95% of the people that have a generator are gonna remove the fuel when it's not in use, or just run it through so it is dry. Because I'll tell you what, these Power Masters, these carburetor jets, these little nozzles that atomize the fuel so it can explode better, it's so easy for them to get clogged with old fuel. Well, we're gonna call it a good here. I don't think anybody needs to see me put the rest of it together. Mission accomplished. Always use fresh gas, and if you're gonna let it sit in there, use a stabilizer. Better yet, just get rid of it. Okay, and don't forget, very early on I've got a video years ago how to make your generator last forever, and I'll probably just redo that fresh, okay? Because it's very critical, because a lot of people are thinking about getting generators and things like that, okay? Look, if you've enjoyed this video, you love the hillbilly repairs, you love being on a rancho, we fix everything around here. It doesn't matter, small engine repair, electrical, whatever. Plumbing, it's always a joy here to do. Urban homesteading in the middle of urban sprawl here in Santa Rosa, California. If you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe, hit that bell for all notification. And if you enjoyed it, you enjoy the repair process, please consider, besides that hyping, and if you're not subscribed, make sure you hit that bell and hit that like button. Thanks, everybody.